Would you have a different launch angle now with your swing?
I don't think so.
Because that seems to be. Do you believe in that? Launch angle is part of the reason?
Here's what I believe. I believe that you should hit certain balls out of the ballpark, right? You know what I mean? I mean, if the pitch is there and you hit it with the proper technique, it's going out of the ballpark. I don't believe in practicing launch angle because I think that lengthens your swing. And we're seeing a change in the game now. Guys talking about launch angle, pitchers are throwing the ball up. And now there's going to be a weapon of up there, until guys will make that adjustment, either leaving that alone. But I believe in, like, there's a difference in practicing launch angle and trying to get the ball in the air, right? If I'm hitting line drives in BP at 60 miles an hour, that may relate to getting the ball in the air at 95. Because if you're trying to get the ball in the air at 95 or at 60, you're lengthening your swing in batting practice. And now when you get to the game at 95, you're not catching up with that.
But you got this Jordan Hicks dude throwing 105 the other day. I mean,
yeah.
But do you believe that it's actually 105?
Sure it is. Sure, it's probably, but I probably also believe that 93 in my day was probably 96 or something.
Oh, you like Nolan Ryan threw over 100.
Right, and I'm sure it was,
But you faced him, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but I faced him at 44, and you still had to gear it up. No, he was one of those guys, you better turn up the knob a little bit when you're facing Nolan. So, it was like 44, and not in a negative way, but I faced Steve Carlton and Tom Seaver when they were older, and it was not the same. They changed the way they pitched, but Nolan was still a power pitcher in the 40s.
But who's the guy that you went in and you had to buckle up because he was bringing cheese?
Roger in '86.
Clemens. Well, yeah, that was a magical year there.
Yeah, that was
different. Yeah, that was different.
That was a power year where he was just spotting up the heater and he could get it everywhere he wanted to go with it. Nolan, you had to gear it up all the time. Randy Johnson, you had to gear it up. There was a few guys that you had to turn up the knob.
Did you face Gooden?
Yeah, a little bit. But spring training more.
Oh, okay.
But we didn't have the interleague, so spring training.
But it wasn't the same?
No,
Doc was 2 pitches, right?
No, it was good. No, Doc was good. I remember facing Doc, and we were both kind of the same. We were both young, right? So, and I didn't mind hitting the fastball. So it was a guy that really threw hard, didn't really bother me at all. But Doc was like, I really want to be calm, with him because the ball jumps at you, and then the breaking ball, you don't want to be trying to gear up to hit the heater. You just want to relax, no cheats at the heater, and then the breaking ball sits there for you a little bit.
Did you ever feel overwhelmed like Kruk did in the All-Star game with Randy Johnson?
In the playoffs, and I shouldn't say overwhelmed because I was swinging the bat really good in '95 at the end, but Randy had too much for me.
Really?
Yeah, he got to a point where when he was throwing, when he couldn't get the slider over when he was younger, I know I'm getting a fastball. At that point, I'm hitting a fastball.
Was this when he was in Montreal?
No, he was in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
And he wasn't getting the slider over early on.
Okay.
Right, and then when he started getting the slider over, there really was nowhere to hit it. For me, the only place to hit the slider was like down the third baseline. And who's going to try to hit Randy Johnson down the third baseline when the ball, it's just on you so fast. So that series, I was swinging really good. And when he gets the slider over, it was just like, there's nothing I can do with it.
But that release point, was he even going out further left against a left-handed batter? Like he was going to use that frame?
No, it's out there. It was out there pretty good. It was just so hard, Dan. I'm serious. It was just like he let it go. It was like, oh, that's too late. I'm too late.
Wait, it's that quick?
It was. It really, it felt like it, because if you're thinking slider, and it's like, it's just getting out here, it's like, oh, that's already on me, right? And that's just, you're too late almost all the time.
Would you be okay now if you were playing with 150 strikeouts?
Absolutely not.
But not today's men, remember, it was embarrassing if you struck out 100 times. Right?
Yeah, I get it, but I just think there's some value to, putting the ball in play. But I see both sides, right? You see the side that says, don't just spread out, play pepper and peck balls to the infielder and give up your whole swing. And so I see that mentality, and there's times you want to keep swinging the bat. And I think there's a happy medium. I know for myself, I didn't really strike out at all early on. I would really choke up and want to put the ball in play. As I played a little bit longer, I knew I could pretty much have my at-bat, just change my thinking a little bit, where I'm looking for the ball, what I'm trying to cover, still have an aggressive at-bat, and really keep the strikeouts down.
But if you look at what these guys are doing now, it's either everybody's throwing 97, 98, and everybody's swinging for a home run, right? I mean, that's. But
in general.
right?
It seems like that, right?
Yes, but it feels like it's okay if you strike out. It's a badge of courage if you strike out 150 times. Like, hey, you got your cuts up there.
Yeah, 150 seems kind of okay, right? It seems.
And you got guys getting up to 200.
Yeah, it's tough. And I think you can have that guy. You can't have 3 or 4 of those guys. You know, if you can, like a guy that strikes out 180, 190, 200 times, but he's hitting 45 and he's walking some.
Yeah.
Right? So at least he's getting on base. But if you have 3 of those guys, 3 or 4 of those guys in your lineup, you're going to go through games where you just don't even put the ball in play hardly.
I know.
And you can't score runs. You get a guy to third and you can't score him. I think there's going to be a mix of guys that can. It's hard to find now a guy that can just true hit, like you see pure hit.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.